ոչ մի թշնամի Ոչ աշխարհ դարձավ մեր պահանջի ճանաչ ասելը վերջացավ պիտի գնանք առաջ Եթե որդիս օտար հողում մեծանա ու երկրից պատմությունը չիմանա Ձերության հասակում կես չեսների ու կամաչես ու կոջերմակ մասերից Եթե որդիս օտար հողում մեծանա պատմությունը չիմանա Որտերության հասակում կես չեսների ու կամաչես ու ջերմակ մազերի
Hi everyone, it's Wednesday night again. We're here and we're excited. We have Timothy straight from HDIF. Today he woke up so early in the morning from Armenia to join us. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you very much. Great to be here. 7 o'clock in the morning where I am, here in Armenia.
Welcome, Tim. If you can take a few moments just to...
Let me just ask whoever is watching just to share it outside by Armenian so we can reach more people and then your voice will be heard outside. And I want everyone to learn about HDIF as much as possible.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about, just a little bit of background, give us as much information about HDIF, the different programs, the different things that you, wonderful things that you do for Armenian workers, for Armenia and for Armenians in general, globally.
Thank you very much, guys. Okay, it's a long story. I've been in Armenia for 20 years. I came in 2000 and been through the ups and downs and a little bit of a dark patch right now, to understate it. But we've been working away now in HDIF for almost 8 years. And the whole point of it is to create jobs. And it's about creating jobs, mostly for women, mostly outside of Yerevan, because there's more job opportunities in Yerevan than there is in the smaller places around the country. And using traditional skills. I mean, almost all of our products are crocheted or knit or sewn or embroidered, or one of those skills that they learned mostly as young girls. So we just go into a village or a town somewhere and have a reason to go there. We work with socially vulnerable groups many times, and it might be a question of there's no jobs available. There might be disability in the picture. There might be domestic violence issues. There might be, I don't know, bordering villages are quite central to what we do. And so once we've identified this is a region or a town or a group that needs some support, we say, what do you do? And we go in and we design a product using that traditional skill that we think the international market wants. And that's not only the Armenian market, much of it is, but much of it is also the regular non-Armenian market as well. So I mean, we export today to the US, obviously. We have HDIF USA in San Diego, California. They're importing a large portion of our collection and marketing it. We also export in a big way to Germany, to fair trade organizations. This is a big part of what we do, is fair trade. I don't know if your viewers have, if they know anything about the World Fair Trade Organization, but we are the first World Fair Trade Organization in Armenia and also in the entire former Soviet Union. What is fair trade? Basically, there's 10 principles of fair trade, like a fair wage, transparency, no child labor, good working conditions, et cetera, et cetera. So 10 principles of that. If anybody wants more information about WFTO, it's WFTO.com. Simple as that, WFTO.com. So HDIF in the United States is then obviously the only importer of Armenian fair trade products in the United States. We right now today, just to give an example of what we're trying to do right now, Tallinn, we have a group in Tallinn. They're very busy finishing up Christmas orders. They make the taras dolls, the dolls and the Christmas ornaments, particularly the Christmas tree ornaments in the shape of all the taras from Van and Sebastia and Yerevan and Artsakh, extremely popular, so popular they haven't been able to produce enough. Koch up in northern Tavush, crazy busy with these hand-painted Christmas ornaments and laser cut ornaments that take gospel or illuminated texts or church stone carvings and put them on a Christmas ornament and then say which church it comes from on the back of it and which century the church is from. That's part of our attempt to spread Armenian culture and Armenian history out to the world. And again, not only to the Armenian world, but to the general public. And again, that's an item, those Christmas ornaments, we can't produce enough. Today's going to be a huge day. Cope is delivering. We have to make very quick turnaround deliveries to customers in the US and other countries. It's crazy. So we're full up. Most of our producer partners are crazy busy. Just mentioned a couple of them, but we have 18 different producer partners around the country in north, south, east, west, and we're busy designing new products all the time. Right now, we're in the middle of the Christmas rush, but we're fully developing an Easter collection along the same lines of the Christmas collection, again, with inspiration from Armenian culture, Armenian cross stones, Armenian churches, Armenian traditional, and then an important part of our collection is also from the Syrian Armenians. Syrian Armenians, we have 3 different Syrian Armenian groups that we work with. All of those tend to be in Yerevan, that's where they're mostly located. One of them is doing a series of Christmas ornaments for us. This Marash embroidery, the traditional Marash embroidery, I'm sure you know what that is, along with the Einteb and the Sivas and the Urfa embroidery techniques. The Marash is what we've put on a Christmas ornament, selling like crazy. Another Syrian Armenian group is making hundreds of sweaters, machine knit. She's a machine knitter. And we have a big campaign going for Artsakh kids in Armenia from Artsakh. And so far, Lena and her group have made 100 sweaters, and they've got to make hundreds more because we're doing a very successful campaign together with the High Commission for the Diaspora. So if you go onto our website, hdif.org, and you look at Shop in Armenia, and then you search on Artsakh, just search on Artsakh, and then there's quite a few different links that come up. And look for the packages. So we're doing a educational toys and games package for the kids. We're doing a clothing kit for the kids, and then we're doing a kit for the table. So a runner, and well, not for the table, but for the home. Bed sheets, towels, and just a Christmas table runner to make it a little bit easier now at the new year for these. We estimate that there are 45,000 Artsakhis who cannot return because their villages and areas are now occupied by Azerbaijan, and also there's a shortage of housing today in Stepanakert. So return to Stepanakert is also getting a little bit difficult. So of the approximately 100,000 that left Artsakh, there's probably still a good 65, 70,000 of them still in Armenia. Those are unofficial numbers, but those are the numbers I've been hearing from various sources. And so if you imagine there's 70,000 people in Armenia that are living in temporary accommodations. So all of these campaigns that are going for Artsakh are needed to reach as many of these people as possible, coordinated through the Ministry of Labor and Social Affairs and then with the municipalities. So we've got that campaign going. We've got all of our Christmas ornaments to deliver. All of our suppliers are busy. The hats for that Artsakh campaign are being made by 4 different groups, also employing women from Artsakh. So up in Goghovit, it's a woman with a disability who's coordinating 30 women from her village of Goghovit. They've made 200 beanies so far. They're going to make hundreds more. Up in Koch also, they're knitting beanies. In Martuni, down by Martuni town by Lake Sevan, That's where part of the influx came through the Kalbajar Road before that was cut off to Martinis and Martini. And so a lot of Artsakhi women and children came there, and they are knitting beanies as well. And then there's another, oh, Baird. Baird is the last one. They're on the border. They're a bordering town. They have 100 Artsakhi families. That's over 10% or approximately 10% increase in the population of Baird, just those families with all those kids. And so they are also knitting beanies up in Baird with women from Artsakh and also survivors of domestic violence. So we try to have a positive effect wherever we go, with all the challenges we have with communication and supply chain management and deadlines and price calculations and everything. But so far we're doing well and really upping the ante this year in particular. First the pandemic, then the Tavush skirmishes, then I got the virus in October, and then the war, and it's been a horrible year for the whole world, but Armenia has really had it a lot worse. So we're doing whatever we can here to roll up our sleeves and build this country and build a future for everybody in this country, and that's what we're doing every day. And yesterday, two of our people were in Shamshadin in the Baird region, taking the mountain road, because we're aiming at the future as well through the artsakhplus.com fundraising platform. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but that's created by two Armenians in Switzerland. And we put up our emergency relief for the Artsakhi kids with the warm clothes on that. We need that, yes we do. But I said, please, can we put up something that's aiming at the future that's going to come and build towards that positive future for Armenia. And so we're doing actually a ecotourism development project with an eco center in the Getik Valley in the village of Martuni, and then an eco center in Baird on the other end, both of them created by women in those two communities. They just wanted to do something good for their community. And there's a beautiful mountain road between those two communities. And we want to not develop it in a heavy commercial way, but in an eco-tourism way, and bring more people to stay in the bed and breakfasts in those two villages and walk, bicycle, motorbike, car, bus, whatever, along the mountain road. So that new project on Artsakh Plus, in addition to the warm clothing for the Artsakh kids, is the Sari Janapar project, we're calling it, the mountain road. And that the first phase is to create 4 bed and breakfasts in the Baird region, in the village of Itzakar, Navur, Norashen, Tavush, and in Baird itself probably, and get more people to come and stay, because today you can go to Baird, but you can't stay there basically in a bed and breakfast, nice, cozy bed and breakfast situation. So I babble a lot, so just tell me when to stop, because we've got so much going on.
So awesome.
Oh.
No, it's good to hear at least an introduction, so that
yes.
I mean, I for myself, I can tell you that I didn't know much about HDIF until this group has started, and I'm glad about the effect that it's had. From the sounds of it, it seems like there's a positive effect of this group on at least your organization, and judging from the orders that you're talking about, we're glad to hear that, and that's what this group is all about.
Yeah, no, it's the Buy Armenian wave, as we're calling it. It's you guys, your honor, congratulations. No, we've seen so much interest, and what thrills me is, yes, it's helped us a lot. It's really helped us a lot. The orders are just piling up, and we're keeping them busy, and we're putting money in their pockets every day now, and I hope we get a little bit of quieter on Christmas, a week, 10 days, so people can catch up. But also, the Buy Armenian has put me in touch with a lot of other producers that need a boost, need some mentoring. I do a lot of mentoring of small companies here, people with an idea but not sure where to go with it, and so we've also been able to link with other people that are producing in Armenia. I've become aware of other people producing in Armenia. People have asked me if I can help them somehow. I put up a post on Buy Armenian yesterday about chir, about dried fruit
That's
Yes.
right.
kits, boxes. That is a woman. Someone came and said, "Can you include a dried fruit box in your emergency relief package?" We couldn't do exactly that, but I said, "But I can sure do a little graphic for her." Anna Hovhannisyan is her name, and put it up on Buy Armenian, and we're getting a good response. And so if I can help other producers in Armenia using you guys as a platform, that's just amazing. And that's what we're already doing. So thank
That's
you.
why I keep saying, let's keep inviting people, let's grow, because the more we grow, the more we can have opportunities, more people will join us and then lead us to the right path. So that's why I keep saying, let's invite people, let's grow, let's grow. We can go louder and then eventually be heard.
Yeah, HDF in Armenia or HDF in the US is also, just experiencing a huge explosion in the number of orders thanks to you guys. So keep up the good work. We'll spread the word.
And I wanted to also mention that we will also hopefully come to you with questions, because you have quite a bit of experience in Armenia in
Yes.
commerce, and you've been there, you've done that, you maybe made the mistakes, learned from them, so that there's no use in making those mistakes again and learning from the beginning. Might as well use your experience and knowledge to help others as well to
Yeah.
advance.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. You hit the head on the nail. We've made all the mistakes, and some of them multiple times. So so we're more than willing to help when we can. It's really hectic right now, but we had a group of Dutch in the office just 2 days ago, I think it was, and they said, we want to start a production unit out in Masis, and we want the Artsakhi women and the local women and create a community center, but we want a production unit connected to it. And I said, well, what are you going to produce? And they said, well, we want to sew something. And I said, what are you going to sew? And they said, we don't know. And so I gave them some pointers and what there might be a market for, and what's difficult, and what technique is expensive, and finding the materials to do the production and so forth. So yeah, I love that kind of stuff. It's an amazing cooperation we have going on.
One question personally I have for you is, how large of a market can Armenia handle at this point, and where do we want to be, let's say, in 5 years? Because the world economy is open. We wanna expand. We don't want to think small. I think there was a post on Buy Armenian. I don't know if you read it or not. One of the members, and rightly so, she was saying we shouldn't think small, and we shouldn't only market to Armenians. We should market to the entire world if we can. And so, where do you see Armenia, and what needs to happen in order for that to take place?
I mean, I can talk from an Armenian's perspective, or I can talk from an HDIF perspective.
Both.
Both. Okay. Our whole strategy for next year is going to be ramp it up. Ramp it up. Because we're having an amazing response for our products of all kinds, all the crocheted things, all the painted things, all the sewn things, everything. And we just need more. How do we ramp it up? Is it more machines? Is it more training? Is it more awareness of quality control, of production planning, of supply chain management, of your material supply? It's all of that. It's all of that. And so actually, I have applied for a small grant from Canada, actually, and want to do a training of all of our producer partners to touch on all of those points. How to calculate a price exactly, so you get your fair profit, but you don't overprice yourself. How do you make sure you have enough materials for your expected order flow? How do you budget what your order flow is going to be? How do you do quality control on every product you produce? What about packaging? What about labeling? What about branding? What about internal transport?
Marketing.
difficult. The marketing, we do the marketing mostly for our producer partners, but our vision as an organization is to spin them off as sustainable business units going forward. We need to supply those that want more machines. We'll try to supply them with more machines. Gyumri, for example, we've just provided them with 3 knitting machines. They need 12. So in order to become a serious knitting unit in Gyumri, and Gyumri really needs the jobs. So one of our organizations, Baird, has said they're not interested in machines. They want to do it all by hand. And I said, well, then if you don't want machines, then you need to find 60 more women, which is fine with me. You know, if you don't want machines, then you need more hands.
That's right.
Organizing people, managing people with all the issues, especially when you've got COVID and you've got war and you've got a bordering village situation, and it's not easy to manage a larger group. But I said that's your challenge for next year: more production, because the market is going to get bigger. So that's HDIF, and we hope we get that so we can do some serious training on how to become a growing business. To go from small to medium is very hard, and from medium to big is also extremely hard. So we're right at that. Okay, we've been doing small for a few years. We need to become medium. Every one of our producers needs to become medium, and we need the leadership in each of them to do that. So we're going to train in 2001. For Armenia generally, when it was funny, if we look at this war experience that we've had, and it's not over yet. We need to prepare ourselves for whatever comes. In the beginning, used clothes were being collected in the US and shipped over to Armenia. And I was like, oh no, I have experience from the war in Bosnia. So I know that was going to come, but I was like, okay, we need to change this. And then new clothing started getting bought in the US and sent over. And I'm screaming before I became active in Buy Armenia, I'm screaming, we can make clothes in Armenia. We can make clothes in Armenia. Stop paying the freight to get them over here. And so and then a new phase of, and we became pretty good at that because people were asking us quickly to source large quantities of socks, underwear, tops for women and children. Our strategic partner, the Armenian Progressive Youth Organization, NGO, here in Yerevan, we've done, we're a fundraiser and a procurement organization, right? And then they are the distribution organization. They coordinate with the Ministry of Labor and Social Affairs. They coordinate with the Yerevan municipality and all the other municipalities they work in. So we just divided the work. We'll supply it, get it and supply it. You distribute it and make sure it's transparent and properly distributed. That's what we're doing. They said, we need, okay, next week, 2,000 pairs of kid socks. Obviously, 6 women in a village cannot do that. So there's lots of larger producers of those kinds of products. We have TOS, we have Melante, we have Lentex, we have Art Socks. We have there's quite a few companies that can do 1,000 a day. So that wasn't a problem, and they produce the underwear, the tops, the t-shirts. They can do onesies. That's not a problem. And then I started pushing in the UN system, the United Nations system, saying, look, guys, I understand now I'm proud. We're buying made in Armenia. Great. That's wonderful. Let's keep doing that for the things that you need quickly in large quantity. But for the things that can go a bit slow, starting in September, at the end of September, early October, saying winter's coming, we need to start producing sweaters and hats and scarves and mittens. Let's do that in our producer groups. So that's kind of been the development this in a very short period of time. Used clothes, send it over. New clothes, send it over. New clothes produced in Armenia, in factories, and now it's in the small producer units out in the villages. So I love what's going on. It's great. Those big factories are crazy busy, and that's great. And they will continue to be. They'll continue to grow. We need more of those. And that is not about selling to Armenian clients. That's about selling to the world. It's really nice socks from the high quality brand names are being produced here. There's going to be more factories popping up. The challenge is going to be, where's their thread going to come from? Where are the dyes going to come from? The machines, the maintenance of the machine. It's supply chain management, exactly the same way that HDF is on a much smaller scale, tackling supply chain management questions in each of their 18 producer groups. So I've always been, if you go onto Facebook on Tim Strait, on my personal public profile, you'll see roll up your sleeves. We have a country to build, and the only way is up. And I'm very optimistic about Armenia. I really am. Armenia can produce high quality in large quantity if we just figure out the nuts and bolts of the supply chain management issues in this country. The legal framework is fine. The tax system, I believe, everybody's complaining about taxes. I think it's fine. If you do your job effectively and properly, you will be successful.
Yeah, and I just want to make a comment that, they say something good comes out of everything that is not so good. And this war is a prime example. It's very unfortunate. We've lost many lives. We've had people leaving Artsakh and coming to Yerevan. So there's a lot of problems. There's a lot of issues. There's a lot of things we can complain about,
Right.
and rightly so. But we also need to look at the positive. And one of the positives is that the people, the diasporan Armenians, have come together in such a way that I have not, in my young age, I have not seen that. I'm sure my parents and grandparents have not seen that in a long time. So we need to capitalize on that. We need to make sure that people are one voice, one goal, making Armenia to be better than it is, and make it a major player in the world market, whether it's in commerce or military complex or IT or all of that. And we have very, very bright Armenians and people who are with Armenians, such as yourself. Thank you for doing that. So I just want to make that comment, and I can't harp on it enough, that we need to be unified. We need to have a unified voice, common goal, making our country the best that it can be.
And
Definitely.
the years, very important years to come. So there's no time to waste,
We have work to do.
Exactly.
We all need to roll up our sleeves and make this place better for every single family. And we need, hundreds and hundreds of companies, and the IT is doing great, and IT can do so much more. And the jewelry business, I don't know if people even know about how famous Armenia is in the jewelry business. And so it's just amazing. The potential is huge, and it's if we get bogged down. I told somebody the other day in a different interview, I said, we don't have time to hang our heads and worry about what's happened. It is what it is. We need to just fix this. We need to work harder and do more of what each and every one of us is doing, and pull this place together. And we can do it. It's not about, it's hopeless. It's not about, oh, it will never happen. And I hear a lot of that. And I hear depression among our producer partners. Why do we keep doing this? I wish I was never born, kind of things. And I'm, come on, geez, no, we got to do this. We got to educate your kids. Yesterday, I mentioned that a couple of our staff took a trip up to Baird. And one of the first pictures they sent back is a new TUMO center that is being built in Baird, in this town of 6,000, 7,000 people up there. There's a really nice, they've taken 6 containers and most of them to put the classrooms in, but one of them they put vertically with their logo on it. It was spectacular. And those signals to those communities, that just means there's a future. It's going to get better. There's going to be more opportunities, education for the kids, food on the table. we don't have time to hang our heads. Let's do this.
Right, let's do the best that we can, and then the result will follow. I know Michael Jordan has something like that. My kids used to go to his camp. So he said, you do your best and the result, don't look at the result. You just work now and do your best and the result will follow. So we should have, all of us, we should have that mindset. Let's try and do our best and then see where we can accomplish. So let me take a question here. There's Hasmik Zakarian asking, how can people in need in Artsakh, in the region that your organization is active, can contact your organization to get warm clothing that you mentioned? So
okay, this is a very good question, and it's a very common question as well, and lots of people are asking. I know a family from Artsakh who's somewhere in Armenia who needs help. Where do they go? The system is this. They call emergency number 114 or 117. That is to the Ministry of Labor and Social Affairs. The Ministry of Labor and Social Affairs registers name and where they are and the phone number and how many kids, how old are they, all of that stuff about the family. That information is then divided among, oh, they're in Artashok, they're in I don't know, Goris or whatever, and divided to the municipalities. The municipalities then have lists of NGOs that can provide help. It needs to go through a system. The system isn't perfect. No system is perfect. It takes a bit of patience, but you need to go through that system to get registered and in the system, and then the help will come. APY, Armenian Progressive Youth, who works with us, they go to a weekly meeting with each of the municipalities they work in, mostly Yerevan, but there are lots of Artsakis in other places in Armenia. And they sit there and they give them a list. Here's this week's list. You need 120 food packages, you need 130 clothing packages, whatever they need. And then APY goes to its donors, and we are their main donor at this point for clothing items and provide what they need. So our job is just to produce it and supply it when they need it. And that's what we're focusing on every day. And so that's the system, 114, 117, and then a little bit of patience because it has to churn through a system, but it will happen. So if they call APY, they'll get the same information. If they call my office, they'll get the same information. That's the system.
Very good. I have a question here from Jacqueline Marshalian, and she's asking, do you have women in management or only employees? Women. Do you have women in management?
In HDIF or in our producer partners?
Both.
Both. Okay. I'm the only guy on staff. I'm the founder and the executive director. My financial manager is Lilith, and we have a part-time project manager, Ani, and that's our whole staff. That's 3 of us. We're 2.5 positions in the organizations. That's why we're so tired.
Sure.
And then out in the producer partners, Kapon, founded and run by a woman. Goris, founded and run by a woman. Vartanis, founded and run by a woman. Let me think of one that isn't founded and run by a woman. Baird is Anahit. Koch is Anna. Erio, the organization with people with disabilities in Vanadzor is a woman, Anush. Guyana in Gyumri. Manush in Goghovit. Guyana also in Tallinn. No, it's all women. It's all women. If you put us and our producer partners in a blender, we have like 3 guys in the whole thing and about 200 women.
Thank you for that.
Oh, wow.
Thank you for that.
So there's Karin is asking, are you open for suggestions for products?
We have a joke in the office. We'd love to hear about a new product we can make if you buy 1,000 of them. But no, I mean, yes, we're very open to product suggestions. HDIF USA came with the product suggestion, and I thought, oh boy, and it was a Christmas ornament of a Santa Claus with the mask on, to be the iconic 2020 Christmas ornament. And she ordered a bunch of them, and I thought, I hope she doesn't get stuck with those. She sold out on day 2 or something like that.
Wow.
They're gone. And so, and Baird is flooded with orders. We can't produce any more. And I'm just laughing because sometimes when I think a product might not be very good, it sells like mad. So yes, suggestions are welcome.
You'll be glad to know that Lilith has been receiving a few of those calls from business owners saying, can you turn off our ad for a little bit until we catch up, and then you can turn it back on, which is wonderful news for us. Wonderful news.
Yes, yes. Sevada's asking about shipping, and we're working on it to lower. He's saying that the shipping costs are very high from Armenia to the world, and then we've already mentioned that, discussed it, that we're working on it, and we're going to try to see who's the best company that gives us the best rates to ship from Armenia to the world.
Yeah,
So
it depends. It
Right.
depends on what you're shipping and how big it is and how heavy it is.
And how
High
fast
post
on it.
is actually very cheap, under 2 kilos. If you have less than 2 kilos in weight, and most of our packages are, because we tend to have smaller stuff, and we try actively. Actually, if you take if you have a big order and you split it in half and send 2 boxes under 2 kilos each of them to the same address, you'll come out about 40% cheaper than sending 1 box that is over 2 kilos. So you just need to be a little bit creative, and you can find ways of managing it until the systemic changes, which should come.
That's a very good point. That's a very good suggestion. So if it's a, let's say over 3.5 kilos or more, even if it's 6 kilos, divided into 3 packages of under 2 kilos is what I'm understanding. And it's a lot less.
Even if it's 2.5 kilos, you might want to divide it into 1 and 1.5 in order to get it as cheap as possible. We do that quite often.
Okay, very good. I was also saying how fast you want it also has an effect on the delivery fee or the shipping cost.
On the fee and on the time, obviously. I mean, we use only regular old high post because our experience with EMS in a time of COVID is EMS got stuck. It wasn't going anywhere. High post continued to go. We check our packages. Where are they every day? We follow the package until it is signed for. And I was surprised yesterday to see that quite a few of our packages had gotten from Yerevan to places in the US in 12 days, which is,
That's good.
I tell people up to 3 weeks, and it got there in 12 days. So it works really well sometimes and slower other times, but we religiously use high post under 2 kilo packages, and it works pretty well.
There was a member who posted yesterday, I was reading, he said, do you know why one of my packages is stuck in, I don't know, somewhere in Russia or Moscow or somewhere for 2 weeks, and my other package is stuck in New Jersey for 2 weeks, and my third package is stuck somewhere else. And this guy was really unlucky, it seems like, but any input on something like that, why that may happen?
It sounds like the one in New Jersey went through Globing, maybe. Otherwise, it wouldn't be going to New Jersey, I don't think. If we send a package to the United States, it is sent through Russia. That shows up on our tracking system all the time. Packages to the US go through Russia. Packages to Europe go through Belarus. Belarus, is that what it's called in English? Yeah. and so we're following these all the time. And yeah, a few masks. We do a lot of face masks, by the way. We sell thousands and thousands of face masks. And the packages to Norway, 3 packages sent on one day, have been stuck for 3 weeks. And that would be the Belarus connection that got stuck. But 97%, 98% of our packages go on a regular, relatively smooth route.
Very good.
Very good.
Any other questions?
I think no.
while she's looking at that, I'll just take this opportunity, and I'm sure you probably know about this through Lilith, and that is that we are preparing to provide 300 families that are living in temporary housing, whether in church halls or hotels or other schools, provide them with New Year's Eve dinner, New Year's Eve and / Christmas dinner. The Armenian Christmas, as you know, is the evening of the 5th. So we have that as a project, and we are going to launch that either
tonight, probably
either tonight or tomorrow morning, and we're going to ask our members to see if they can help us raise some money so that we can provide dinners. And I know that just been through wars. A lot of families have lost homes, lost soldiers, or they have injured soldiers, family members, and maybe it's not the first thing on their mind, but our thought process was, at least let's give them a glimpse of hope, a glimpse of temporary happiness, take them from out of their situation and have them experience that.
Yeah, and the most important part, we're going to give business to the restaurants, markets, and we're going to buy everything. They're going to buy it from Armenia and deliver it. And then Gigi offered free delivery for the items. So it's
and there are several people who have offered to donate toys for kids, or gifts for the kids in those families. So trying to do whatever we can. However, it may be a drop in the bucket, but at least it's a positive. It's a positive for those. So hopefully we'll have a successful project with that.
And it will be a better year for all of us next year, hopefully.
Yeah.
Garin is saying, thank you, Tim, so much for everything you do for Armenians and Armenia.
Well, I love it. I love it
as well.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Thank you very much for taking the time early in the morning. The first thing I asked you when we met was, are you a morning person? And the people who are not morning people are usually late night people. That means you probably go to bed late. You have a lot of connection with outside of Armenia, so you do a lot of your calls and stuff. Lilith and I, we are neither morning nor night, because we go to bed very, very late, and then we wake up very, very early. But we kind of gotten used to it. Thank you very much for the time and everything you do. And we look forward to working with you. We look forward to growing with you. We look forward to providing as much help as we can. And I'm sure you've told us the same. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a blessed rest of the week. Take care. Give all our regards to all of the workers and the managers and the people.
Thank you very much. I will. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thanks.
Bye-bye.